Have you ever wondered why some people keep rising, while others, just as talented, remain trapped in the same place year after year? It is easy to believe that success belongs to the smartest, the luckiest, or the most gifted. Society celebrates talent. It applauds confidence. It admires charisma. But beneath every extraordinary life lies something far quieter, far less glamorous, and far more powerful. It is not talent that wakes before the sun when no one is watching. It is not motivation that keeps working after disappointment. It is not inspiration that survives rejection, failure, loneliness, and exhaustion. There is a force that stands when every emotion sits down. That force is discipline. The world has convinced many people to chase feelings instead of principles. We wait to feel inspired before we begin. We wait to feel confident before we speak. We wait to feel ready before we take the first step. And while we are waiting, life quietly moves forward without us. Dreams grow older, opportunities disappear, potential becomes regret. The greatest tragedy is not that people failed. The greatest tragedy is that many never discover what they could have become because they surrendered to temporary emotions instead of permanent commitment. Real power has never announced itself with noise. It enters quietly. It grows in silence. It is built in ordinary moments that no one applauds. It is choosing consistency when excuses seem reasonable. It is continuing when no reward is visible. It is keeping promises to yourself even when nobody else would know if you broke them. Every disciplined choice may appear insignificant, but together they build a life that others call extraordinary. Look closely at those who leave a lasting mark on the world. Their victories were not created on the day everyone noticed them. They were created during countless unseen mornings, difficult evenings, and lonely seasons where quitting would have been easier than continuing. The applause came later. The recognition came later. The success came later. Discipline arrived first. The truth is that discipline is not a punishment. It is not a prison. It is the key that unlocks every door you have been standing in front of. It teaches you that your future should never be controlled by your current mood. It reminds you that greatness is not reserved for a chosen few. It belongs to those willing to do what must be done, especially when they do not feel like doing it. Today, we are going to uncover why discipline is the real superpower, the quiet force that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary examples, not overnight, but one faithful decision at a time. Most people spend their lives searching for motivation because motivation feels exciting. It arrives with energy, confidence, and the belief that anything is possible. It makes you create plans, write goals, buy new notebooks, watch inspiring videos, and imagine a better future. But motivation has one weakness that many people discover too late. It is temporary. It changes with your emotions, your environment, your health, and even the weather. Some mornings you wake up ready to conquer the world, while other mornings you struggle to get out of bed. If your progress depends only on how you feel, then your future will rise and fall with your emotions. Discipline is different. It does not ask how you feel. It asks what must be done. It quietly reminds you that commitment matters more than comfort and that action is more valuable than intention. Think about the people who accomplish remarkable things. They are not driven by endless excitement. They experience doubt, fear, disappointment, and fatigue just like everyone else. The difference is that they have trained themselves to act even when those feelings appear. They understand that emotions are visitors, not leaders. Feelings come and go, but discipline remains. It becomes a steady companion that carries you through the days when enthusiasm disappears. While others stop because they no longer feel inspired, disciplined people continue taking one more step, then another, until those small steps become extraordinary achievements. Every meaningful success is built through repeated actions rather than occasional bursts of effort. Reading one chapter every day teaches more than reading an entire book once a year. Saving a little money every week creates greater security than waiting for the perfect opportunity. Practicing a skill consistently produces mastery that natural talent alone can never guarantee. Discipline transforms ordinary habits into powerful results because it values consistency over intensity. It understands that greatness is rarely created in dramatic moments. It is built quietly through countless decisions that seem insignificant at the time. Life constantly presents opportunities to choose between what feels easy now and what will benefit you later. Sleeping a little longer may feel comfortable, but waking up on time strengthens character. Avoiding difficult conversations may feel safe, but facing them develops confidence. Giving up after failure may seem easier, but trying again builds resilience. Discipline is found in these everyday choices. It grows stronger each time you choose purpose instead of convenience. Over time, those choices shape your identity until doing the right thing becomes natural rather than difficult. Motivation often waits for perfect conditions before taking action. Discipline creates progress regardless of circumstances. It does not require applause, recognition, or immediate rewards. It finds satisfaction in knowing that every effort is moving life in the right direction. There will always be distractions, excuses, unexpected setbacks, and moments when quitting seems reasonable. Yet the person guided by discipline understands that success belongs not to the one who starts with the most excitement, but to the one who refuses to stop when excitement fades, continuing to move forward with quiet determination, unwavering commitment, and a heart that remains faithful to the work long after the feeling of motivation has disappeared. Every great life is built one small decision at a time. People often imagine success as a single extraordinary event, a breakthrough, a promotion, a championship, or a life-changing opportunity. What they rarely see are the thousands of ordinary choices that quietly prepared someone for that moment. The truth is that our lives are not shaped by what we do once in a while. They are shaped by what we do every single day. Small habits may seem too insignificant to matter, but they possess a remarkable power. Like drops of water that slowly carve through solid rock, consistent actions gradually transform our character, our abilities, and ultimately our future. Many people underestimate the value of daily consistency because the results are not immediately visible. Reading 10 pages of a book today may not make you wiser by tonight. Exercising for 30 minutes may not transform your body by tomorrow. Saving a small amount of money each week may not make you wealthy within a month. Yet, Every one of these actions places another brick in the foundation of a stronger life. Day after day, those bricks become walls. Those walls become a house. In the same way, the smallest positive habits eventually create a life that appears extraordinary to those who only notice the finished result. The opposite is equally true. Small negative choices often seem harmless in the beginning. Skipping one workout feels unimportant. Delaying one task appears insignificant. Making one excuse sounds reasonable. But repeated often enough, these tiny decisions slowly shape a pattern that becomes difficult to escape. Failure rarely arrives in one dramatic moment. It usually grows through countless unnoticed compromises. Every excuse teaches the mind that comfort is more valuable than commitment. Every delay strengthens the habit of postponing responsibility. Before long, what seemed like minor decisions begin to determine the direction of an entire life. Successes is not reserved for people who make perfect decisions every day. It belongs to those who continue making better decisions more often than poor ones. Progress is not about dramatic leaps forward. It is about refusing to move backward. Some days your improvement will be obvious. Other days it will feel invisible. There will be mornings when your effort seems unnoticed, and evenings when your work feels meaningless. Yet every disciplined action adds another layer of strength, another lesson, another reason to believe in your own potential. The beauty of small daily choices is that anyone can begin. You do not need extraordinary talent, unlimited resources, or perfect circumstances. You only need the willingness to honor today's responsibilities instead of waiting for tomorrow's motivation. One page becomes a book. One workout becomes strength. One conversation becomes confidence. One act of kindness shapes character. One promise kept to yourself becomes evidence that you are becoming someone you can trust. Over time, these repeated actions stop feeling like tasks and start becoming part of your identity. You no longer wake up wondering whether you should do the right thing because it has become your natural response. Your habits begin speaking louder than your words. Your consistency becomes stronger than your excuses, and your quiet commitment starts building a future that reflects the power of ordinary choices repeated with extraordinary faithfulness day after day, without demanding immediate recognition or reward. Many people believe that freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. They imagine freedom as a life without rules, responsibilities, or limitations. But that kind of freedom is often an illusion. When every decision is controlled by emotion, impulse, or immediate pleasure, a person is no longer leading their life. They are being led by their desires. True freedom does not come from the absence of discipline. It comes from the ability to choose what is right over what is easy. The greatest victory is not over another person. It is over the part of yourself that constantly seeks comfort instead of growth. Every day, life presents countless moments where self-control is tested. It appears in the decision to wake up when the alarm rings instead of pressing the snooze button. It is present when you choose to finish your work before scrolling endlessly through distractions. It speaks when you remain calm during an argument instead of reacting with anger. These moments may seem ordinary, but they reveal who is truly in charge. A person who cannot control their own thoughts, words, or actions will always struggle to control the direction of their life. Self-control is not about suppressing your humanity. It is about guiding your emotions instead of allowing them to guide you. The strongest individuals are not those who never feel temptation, fear, frustration, or disappointment. They experience the same emotions as everyone else. The difference is that they refuse to let those emotions make their decisions. They understand that feelings are temporary, but consequences often last much longer. Acting out of anger may take only a few seconds, yet repairing the damage can take years. Giving in to laziness may feel comfortable for one day, but repeating that choice can steal opportunities that never return. Self-control allows you to pause between emotion and action, creating space for wisdom to replace impulse. There is quiet confidence that grows within a disciplined person. It does not depend on praise from others or favorable circumstances. It comes from knowing that you can rely on yourself even when life becomes difficult. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens your character. Every temptation you overcome reminds you that your future is worth more than temporary satisfaction. Every challenge you face without surrendering becomes proof that your mind is stronger than your excuses. This confidence cannot be purchased, borrowed, or given by someone else. It is earned through repeated acts of discipline. As self-control becomes part of your daily life, you begin to notice a remarkable change. Decisions become clearer because they are no longer clouded by fleeting emotions. Challenges lose much of their power because you stop reacting impulsively to every obstacle. You gain the ability to remain steady while others are overwhelmed by panic or frustration. This inner stability becomes a source of strength that influences every area of life, from relationships and work to health and personal growth. The person who masters themselves discovers that real freedom is not found in doing everything you desire, but in possessing the wisdom and discipline to choose the path that leads toward lasting purpose, enduring peace, and a future shaped by intentional decisions rather than uncontrolled impulses. Every meaningful achievement carries a price. The world often celebrates success without acknowledging the sacrifices that made it possible. We admire the finished masterpiece, but rarely think about the countless hours of practice. We applaud the confident speaker without seeing the years of preparation behind every word. We notice the strong body, but overlook the early mornings, disciplined meals, and consistent effort that shaped it. Success has never been free. It asks every person the same question. What are you willing to give up today for the life you hope to have tomorrow? The answer to that question determines the distance between dreams and reality. Sacrifice is often misunderstood. Many people see it as losing something valuable, but true sacrifice is choosing something greater over something easier. It is saying no to temporary comfort so you can say yes to lasting fulfillment. It is turning away from distractions that steal your time and energy. Every hour spent learning instead of wasting time, every moment dedicated to improving yourself instead of seeking instant pleasure, and every decision to stay committed when quitting seems easier is an investment in a future that cannot be built any other way. The things you sacrifice today become the foundation of the opportunities you enjoy tomorrow. Patience is the companion of discipline. In a world that demands instant results, patience reminds us that the greatest transformations happen slowly. A tree does not grow into greatness overnight. It spends years strengthening its roots before anyone admires its branches. In the same way, character is formed beneath the surface long before success becomes visible. Many people abandon their goals because they mistake slow progress for failure. They forget that every day of honest effort is preparing them for something they cannot yet see. Just because the results are invisible does not mean the work is meaningless. There will be seasons when your efforts seem unnoticed. You may work hard while others appear to move ahead more quickly. You may remain faithful to your goals while receiving little recognition. During these moments, doubt has a quiet voice. It whispers that your sacrifices are pointless, that your patience is being wasted, and that giving up would be easier. But discipline answers with a greater truth. It reminds you that every worthwhile journey includes moments when faith must replace immediate evidence. Growth is happening even when applause is absent. Strength is developing even when progress feels invisible. Those who endure understand that setbacks are not signs to quit. They are opportunities to deepen resilience. Every obstacle teaches a lesson that comfort never could. Every delay strengthens endurance. Every disappointment reveals whether your commitment is rooted in temporary excitement or lasting purpose. The people who achieve remarkable things are rarely those who avoided difficulty. They are the ones who learn to keep walking through it without allowing hardship to define them. The reward for sacrifice and patience extends far beyond external success. It changes the person you become along the journey. You develop resilience that cannot be shaken by failure, wisdom that cannot be gained through shortcuts, and confidence that grows from knowing you remained faithful even when the road was difficult, proving that the greatest victories are earned not by those who demand immediate results, but by those who trust the quiet power of persistent effort, willing sacrifice, and unwavering patience through every season of becoming. There comes a moment in every person's life when discipline is no longer something they practice. It becomes who they are. At first, discipline feels like a struggle. Every good decision requires effort. Every habit demands conscious attention. Every temptation feels like a battle. But with time, something remarkable begins to happen. The repeated choices that once seemed difficult become natural. The actions that once required determination become part of your character. You stop chasing discipline because discipline has quietly become your identity. And when your identity changes, your life begins to change with it. Most people identify themselves by their circumstances. They say they are unlucky, unmotivated, too busy, too tired, or not talented enough. These labels slowly become invisible prisons. Once you accept them, your actions begin to match them. A person who believes they are inconsistent will continue acting inconsistently. A person who believes they always quit will eventually quit again. But identity can also become your greatest source of strength. When you begin to see yourself as someone who keeps promises, someone who finishes what they start, someone who chooses purpose over comfort. Your actions naturally follow that belief. Your habits are no longer forced. They become an expression of who you are. Discipline shapes identity through repetition. Every time you choose responsibility instead of excuses, you cast another vote for the person you are becoming. Every early morning, every completed task, every difficult conversation faced with courage, and every promise kept to yourself strengthens that identity. These moments may appear ordinary, but together they create an unshakable foundation. You begin trusting yourself because your actions consistently support your words. There is no greater confidence than knowing you can rely on yourself regardless of the circumstances surrounding you. As discipline becomes part of your identity, success stops feeling accidental. You no longer depend on luck or perfect timing because your preparation creates opportunities wherever you go. Challenges that once overwhelmed you become manageable because your character has grown stronger than your fears. Setbacks no longer define your future because you have learned that persistence is more powerful than failure. The disciplined person understands that every obstacle is simply another chance to prove the values they have chosen to live by. People will eventually notice the results. They may call you gifted, fortunate, or naturally successful. They will admire your confidence, your consistency, and your achievements. What they often fail to see is that these results were not created by a single breakthrough. They were built through countless unseen decisions repeated over months and years. The applause belongs to the moment, but the transformation belongs to the quiet days when nobody was watching. Those hidden moments are where identity is truly formed. The greatest reward of discipline is not wealth, recognition, or accomplishment, although those things may follow. The greatest reward is becoming a person whose character remains steady regardless of success or failure, praise or criticism, comfort or hardship. You become someone who no longer waits for perfect conditions before taking action because commitment has replaced hesitation. You walk with quiet confidence because your strength comes from within, and every choice you make continues reinforcing the identity of a person who understands that the real superpower has never been extraordinary talent, but the unwavering discipline to become the best version of yourself through faithful action every single day, without ever allowing temporary emotions to define your permanent destiny.